In a quiet little village, sunlight danced on every rooftop, and the wind carried whispers of old stories. Arya walked these streets every morning, a gentle smile masking the storm of memories in her heart. Around her neck hung a small silver hourglass. Its sand never moved. Everyone assumed it was broken, but Arya knew the truth. It didn't measure time. It measured choices. Years ago, the night her life changed, the sea had roared with fury. Lightning split the sky, and waves crashed like mountains. Arya, still a child, found the hourglass washed ashore, glowing faintly, as if a star had fallen to her feet. She picked it up, and the sand swirled upward like smoke. A whisper brushed her ear. 1 hour for one moment. Choose carefully. She didn't understand. Not until the next morning, when she wished she could have one more hour with her father, the man the sea had claimed. In an instant, she was there, on his boat, under a sun she hadn't felt in years. Her father smiled, alive, real. She wanted to warn him, to stop the storm she knew was coming, but her voice betrayed her. As the last grains fell, so did her chance. One blink later, she was back in her room. The hourglass dimmed, and her father was gone. Arya carried that regret for years. She hid the hourglass and buried her heart in quiet routines. Until one evening, as the sky turned gold, she noticed a little boy sitting alone by the fountain, shoulders trembling with silent sobs. Kneeling beside him, she asked softly, "Who did you lose?" "My mother," he whispered. I didn't get to say I'm sorry." In that moment, Arya saw herself reflected in his grief. The hourglass grew warm against her chest, light flickering once more. One final hour left. She clutched it tightly, tempted to reclaim her own lost moment. But as she looked at the boy, something in her softened. She placed the hourglass around his neck. "When the sand moves," she said, "you'll have 1 hour. Use it well." Before he could respond, the hourglass glowed, and the boy vanished in a shimmer of golden light. Moments later, the light returned, and so did he. Not crying, but smiling, holding the memory of a hug he never thought he'd have. The hourglass, now empty and dark, hung loosely around his neck. Arya smiled. "That's enough," she said quietly. But time had one last surprise. As they walked back toward the village, a voice rose behind her, familiar and steady. "Arya!" She turned. Her father stood there, older, weathered, alive. "I never stopped searching," he said softly. "I came home as soon as I could." Tears filled her eyes. "But I didn't change anything," she whispered. He touched the hourglass gently. "You did. Sometimes time doesn't reward the selfish wish. It rewards the selfless one." That day, Arya understood. She had spent years longing for one more hour with her father. But the hour she gave away, to comfort a child who needed her, was what brought him back. Time had not granted her selfish desire. It had rewarded her selfless heart. And as they walked through the village, sun painting gold across the rooftops, Arya finally felt the storm in her heart settle. The hourglass hung empty, but it had given everything that truly mattered.